Another mass shooting in the U.S., this one claiming the lives of 8 people. The new information police are now releasing from the shooting at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis. San Diegans taking advantage of a one-time vaccination clinic in the South Bay. The rush coming now as local experts weigh in on the chance of getting infected even with the vaccine. Another day of excitement centered around Padres baseball. The big night of firsts fans are getting ready to see, just as even more fans are allowed back into Petco Park. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
And good morning, I'm Jim Patton. We are getting new information this morning on that breaking news from overnight where at least 8 people were killed when a gunman started shooting inside a FedEx facility in Indianapolis. Several others were hurt. This is the latest mass shooting in the U.S. in recent weeks. Police releasing new information within the last half hour saying the suspect was a young man in his 20s. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more details from the latest police findings this morning.
Another mass shooting in America overnight.
Caller heard 10 shots from near the front of the entrance.
Authorities say 8 people were shot and killed and several others injured at a FedEx ground warehouse in Indianapolis near the airport. Just before 11 p.m. last night, police racing to the scene after reports of shots fired.
Their suspect description: shooter, short white male wearing a hat, has a machine gun currently in front of the building.
This suspect came to the facility, and when he came there, he got out of his car and pretty quickly started some random shooting outside the facility.
When authorities arrived, they found multiple victims inside and outside the shipping center. Around 100 workers were on duty at the time. Officials say the massacre was over in just minutes. An internal briefing from the Department of Homeland Security says it's the second largest FedEx Express hub in the world.
We heard 3 more shots, and then my buddy Levi saw someone running out of the building, and then more shots went off.
This morning, President Joe Biden briefed on the situation. This latest tragedy comes less than a month since 10 people were gunned down at a grocery store in Colorado and 8 people were killed at several Asian spas in the Atlanta area. It also comes just a week after President Biden took aim at gun control through executive power to address the plague of gun violence tearing through American cities. And police say the gunman died by suicide. Law enforcement officials tell ABC News there is no indication that this was a terror attack. Meanwhile, investigators are combing through evidence to figure out if this was an act of workplace violence, but so far a motive has not yet been determined. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
And President Joe Biden releasing a statement on the shooting this morning saying, quote, "Gun violence is an epidemic in America, but we should not accept it. We must act." He also ordered flags at the White House and all public buildings to be flown at half-staff in honor of the victims of the shooting. This is the 4th time flags have been ordered to be lowered in 5 weeks. We're also following breaking news right now on a shootout in San Antonio, Texas that put 4 schools on lockdown. This is the live picture you're looking at of the scene right now on the west side of the city. You can see the huge police response. Investigators just gave an update in the last 5 minutes saying an officer was shot in the hand during a traffic stop. The officer fired back, killing the driver and a passenger in the car. A 3rd passenger was also shot and taken to the hospital. Going to keep an eye on this situation and bring you updates as we get them. Now turning to the coronavirus, the White House announcing a big effort this morning to try to tackle COVID variants. The White House says it will spend more than $1 billion to help the CDC track and fight coronavirus variants. Public health experts have been saying for months that the U.S. has been slow to identify and track these strains that they say are threats. CDC says the variant first identified in the UK is now the most common strain in the U.S., and it's leading to a surge in cases in some states. Although the risk is small, the CDC confirms there is a slight chance for people who have been fully vaccinated to still get COVID-19. Local health experts say that getting the shot is better than going without it, though. ABC 10 News reporter Nate Holmes joining us live in the South Bay, where the county is holding a one-time vaccine clinic. Nate.
Jim, dozens of people showed up here this morning to get their vaccine here at Southwestern College. You can see the line wrapping through the campus. The county administering Pfizer shots on a first-come, first-served basis. San Diegans hoping to get the shot tell us it's been hard trying to snag an appointment.
There is no appointments,
Yeah,
right? We tried. Us personally is really important because we have our 9-year-old who has heart conditions. He just had open heart surgery recently, and we need to protect him.
The Solano family arrived 3 hours before the vaccine clinic opened to be able to get a spot in line. Only one of them has been vaccinated. Mom is a teacher, so she was able to get it sooner than everyone else. The family had the same goal as other South Bay residents. The long line to get the vaccine wrapped around the front of the campus earlier this morning. Meanwhile, we're getting our first real-world data on the chances of getting infected after getting the vaccine. According to a new report from the CDC, about 5,800 people who have been fully vaccinated have become infected with COVID-19. To put that in perspective, about 77 million people in the U.S. have been fully vaccinated. Now, of those infected after vaccination, about 7% were hospitalized and 74 people have died. Experts we spoke with say the chance of a breakthrough infection is why keeping our guard up is so important.
What vaccines mainly do is prevent you from becoming ill. They also will decrease the rate at which people get infected, but they don't totally prevent infection. The take-home message is if these same people had been infected without vaccination, many of them would have been in the hospital and died.
Vaccine makers Pfizer and Moderna announced that they are working on booster shots that will be likely needed in addition to the initial 2 doses. Johnson & Johnson says its shots will likely have to be given annually. And back out here live, you can see dozens of folks still waiting out here in line to get their first dose. Nate Holmes, ABC 10 News.
Nate, thank you very much. Well, the mayor of National City is applauding the FDA and CDC's recommendation to pause the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Trying to reassure her community this pause is what is supposed to happen.
A pause is a good thing. A pause means accountability. A pause means that science is doing its job.
Mayor Alejandra Sotelo Solis participated in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine trial in November. Well, last month, she learned that she had gotten the placebo and was then able to get the real thing. Mayor hopes this pause doesn't discourage people from getting the vaccine and that they'll realize there have been only 6 women that have had serious reactions out of the nearly 7 million people who have received the shot. Doctors agree.
People have to balance that with the risk of getting COVID, the disease, and dying of the disease, which is still happening all around us.
Local infectious disease specialist Dr. Mark Sawyer is on a vaccine safety panel for California and several other western states. He expects the pause will be lifted eventually once officials find out if the reactions are directly related to the shot. Well, big night for Padres baseball. It's their first game this season against the LA Dodgers and the first time they welcome back more fans to Petco Park. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell has more on the excitement from the Friar faithful.
Tonight will be a number of firsts for the Friars. It will be their first home game since Joe Musgrove threw the first ever no-hitter in Padres history.
The San Diego's own Joe Musgrove!
This weekend will also be the first time this season the Padres will face their division rivals, the LA Dodgers. We caught up with Ben Higgins and Stephen Woods from the Ben and Woods Show on 97.3 The Fan this morning as they weighed in on the significance of this game.
After so much off-season hype about how good this Padres team is, the Dodgers team that won the World Series, all eyes in baseball are going to be on this series.
And this will all play out in front of more fans at Petco Park. Now that San Diego County is in the orange tier, the Padres can increase fan capacity and have about 14,000 fans. They will also have select sections in the stadium that will be at 67% capacity. This will be for fully vaccinated fans or for anyone with the negative COVID-19 test result 72 hours before the game. Fans must bring a paper or digital copy of proof along with photo ID. Ian Smith is a member of the Friar Faithful who has been searching for tickets to this series.
It's sort of a find an opportunity to go, but not break the bank in order to do so because the secondary market is crazy.
And in this search, Ian has found some season ticket holders who only want to sell to Padre fans.
It needs to be filled with Padres fans. It needs to be brown and gold everywhere.
A sentiment felt among the Friar Faithful.
Let's give our guys, show them what it means to have a true home field advantage.
Ban the blue.
Ban the blue.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
And we just learned that 3 recipients of the Johnny Ritchie Breaking Barrier Scholarship will throw out the ceremonial first pitch. They are Aisha Ali, Ariana Sanchez, and Florentine Ashukuriwi. These 3 young women all attend local high schools and were chosen based on essays they wrote describing how they overcame personal barriers. They will each receive $5,000 scholarships. Congratulations to them. Well, it's just not baseball we're excited about. We also have high school football to talk about, and ABC 10 News will be under the Friday night lights tonight to live stream the rivalry between Eastlake and Otay Ranch. Steve Smith will call the game from Otay. Watch live on 10news.com, the 10 News app, or our Facebook page. And if you have a streaming device, catch us on Roku or Apple TV. Sounds like fun.